Alright, so this is my audience. Alright, here's my outline. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and here's my verbal citations. Alright, howdy, I'm Andrew Zertucci, and this is my informative speech on Pat Tillman. Do you know someone who would give up $3.6 million a year playing in the NFL to make $18,000 a year working 20-hour days for months at a time? In this speech, I will be discussing Pat Tillman. There are 3 ideas about Pat Tillman that I will discuss in this speech. I will start by discussing his background, then I will discuss his journey from an NFL player to a U.S. Army Ranger, and finally I will discuss his impact on the War on Terror. So let's begin by talking about Pat Tillman's background. Pat Tillman was born on November 6, 1976 in Fremont, California. He then moved and was raised in San Jose, California. As stated in A Heroic Life by Dirk Johnson, growing up in San Jose, Tillman went to Leland High School. It was here at Leland High School where Pat Tillman found his love for football. Upon graduation from Leland High School, Pat Tillman attended Arizona State on a football scholarship. Not only was he good on the field, but he was also good in the classroom. He graduated early after 3.5 years with a degree in marketing and a GPA of a 3.85. Not only did he take his team to the Rose Bowl after an undefeated season, but he also received numerous academic awards as well. Now I will be telling you about his journey from the NFL to a U.S. Army Ranger. After the attacks on 9/11, Pat Tillman left the NFL to join the Army. According to Dirk Johnson, the author of A Heroic Life, but days after the terror of September 11, 2001, Tillman saw himself as just another millionaire athlete. You know, my great-grandfather was at Pearl Harbor, and a lot of my family have fought in wars, he told the team camera crew almost in shame. And I haven't really done a damn thing as far as laying myself on the line like that. 6 months later, Tillman shocked the sports world by enlisting in the Army. Upon joining the Army, he was selected to join the elite Special Forces unit called the Army Rangers, which are known for leading the way and being the first ones to be shipped out to the world's most dangerous spots, fighting our enemies in combat. After a couple years of his service and on his second tour to Afghanistan, he was tragically killed on a mission by friendly fire. There was a lot of information withheld from the government because of his famous status and of his tragic death being by friendly fire, that a lot of information about his death was not released to his family and friends. Finally, I will discuss his impact on the War on Terror. After his death, he was hailed as a hero and a symbol of patriotism while there were investigations into his death. As I just mentioned, the government was hesitant to release any information about his death while overseas, as he was such a famous figure, from being in the NFL to giving that all up to join the U.S. Army. He also became the face and poster child of the War on Terror because of his famous status. As stated by John Craker in Where Men Win Glory, Pat Tillman, as American epic hero, he becomes the poster child of the War on Terrorism, a model of patriotism, sacrifice, and honor. A real American hero, someone our kids should aspire to. He was also a symbol that just because you disagree with politicians does not mean that you do not answer America's call to action. Before leaving the NFL to join the U.S. Army, he had come out publicly saying that he was against the war in the Middle East, calling it an illegal war. But his actions proved that he still believed that he should follow America's call of action by joining the U.S. Armed Forces. I just told you 3 aspects about Pat Tillman's life in my speech. I started by giving you information on his background, then going into his journey from an NFL player to U.S. Army Ranger, and I finished by discussing his impact on the war on terror. Pat Tillman turned down millions of dollars and a life of luxury to accept the call of action from his country. Would you do the same?